Okay, so today we're going to be drawing the landscape, and I've got a little sheet like this, kind of goes through everything. And then we're going to be using Sharpie, and you can go straight to the Sharpie if you feel more comfortable starting with pencil. I'm fine with that, okay? And then hopefully we'll get to some of the mixing of the tints that's when you add white to your color. So we're going to be using blue and white to get all sorts of shades of blue. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. You're going to get your piece of paper. The very first thing I'm going to do is write Mrs. K, and then I'm going to have a 2 on here. Okay, now you may set your paper like this, horizontal or vertical. That is your personal preference on what you want to do. Okay, I'm going to set mine here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the instructions on the sheet. So the first thing it says is draw a wavy line near the bottom of the paper. So here's the middle, so somewhere down here I'm going to do a wavy line across the bottom. Step 2, it says draw a wavy line, above the wavy line, draw the top of the iceberg with a shallow jagged line. So shallow means it's not like really sharp, deep lines. So I'm going to start, 3 fingers from the edge and do a line. Whoopsie, went a little bit curvy there. So I've got mine. Takes up most of the paper. I'm about a little closer on the side than I intended. About 2 fingers here and 3 over here, okay? And then it says draw 8 to 10 dots inside your iceberg. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, that's 8. I think I could use another one there. 9. I did 9 on mine. Okay. And then it says use straight lines to connect most of the angles on the iceberg to the nearest dots. Then use straight lines to connect those dots to others, and finally the water. Okay. So that means like your angle here to the dot, that angle to the dot, this angle to the dot. Okay, so I'm kind of working my way on the outside first. This one kind of has a curve there, so I'm just going to go from there, and I can go straight here. Okay, now I'm going to keep connecting dots. So you're going to get this kind of geometric kind of pattern. And you really don't. I could connect this one and a big one. I can go across here. It's really up to you how you want it to look. It's kind of fun not knowing how things are going to turn out. Okay, so I've connected these. I'm going to do one more here and here. Then I'm going to connect it to the ground. Okay, so just kind of drawing little lines from that to the ground. Okay, and if I wanted to have another little sharp angle here, I could totally do that. So it's really up to you on how you want it to look, okay? And I could even have another one here to kind of break that up. Like I said, it's up to you how you want it to look. So I've done step number 4. Now, step 5 says, draw another wavy line on each side of the iceberg, followed by a straight line just above it for the horizon line. That's where your sky meets the ground. And then add a zigzag line for the top of the glacier, okay? So I'm going to start with a wavy line. Not drawing it there. There. I'm going to draw a straight line, lifting up my marker to there. And then, let's see, I've got a wavy line, straight line, and then I'm going to have the glacier. So I'm going to have kind of a zigzag, zigzag, zigzag across there for the top of the glacier. And then 6 says, draw a vertical lines down to the water line from each angle of the zigzag line. So this is the zigzag line. So I'm going to go from this top, straight, straight. It almost has like a fence-like quality to it. Okay. And then make sure you put that Sharpie on, and you are done with that. Now it's the fun mixing of tints. So I already have my name on it and class code. I'm going to get my water cup, fill it about halfway or less, and my sponge, and my brush. I would choose like a small, medium size like this is a good brush. And then for today, we're just going to use the tints. So that's white with the blue. So we're going to be focusing on just right here, the iceberg, okay? We're not going to worry about painting anything else at this point. So with my brush, I'm going to dip it into the blue. And I'm going to have some that are pure blue. Okay, so that's no color mixing. And I'm just taking my time. I always like to go on the outside first. I'm going to take this. Maybe I'll have another blue one here. See, I'm using the tip to go around the edges. Corners, I always like to start in the corner like this and go outward. So it is nice and neat, and then you can paint on the inside. Now, I've done a couple blue. Now it's for the color mixing. So tints are when you add white. So I always start with white first, and I have a little bit of blue on my brush. And you see how it darkens it so fast? You don't need a lot of blue. Okay, and if you need to move your painting so it's angled, an easier way for you guys to get all these little corners, you can. Okay, I like that color, but I'm going to even lighten it more. So I'm going to take some white, add that to it. Kind of turn my brush around. Then I can go to another area. So you're going to notice, oh, I went over the edge a little bit. Not worried at all. I'll fix that when I do another section. Okay, painting that in. Then I'm going to dip my brush into the white. And here, did you notice I haven't gone to the water at all? I don't need the water. Okay, the only time I need the water is if I'm doing like a drastic color change, okay? And also I hope you're noticing is I am using that same little area to mix my paints, especially with the tints, so you'll have no problem mixing with your neighbor, okay? Now, I'm getting pretty light. I can make it even lighter. Maybe this one, I'm just gonna put more white here, maybe even more than that. This is gonna be my lightest, and then this after this one, I'm going to kind of stop on my light and then start darkening it again, okay? I have enough paint in there. I could do another little section. Let's see. We'll do one right here. And I kind of skip around, notice, because I want it to have like different like geometric shapes of different shades of, or tints, I should say, of white, so it looks interesting. Now I'm going to go back to the blue. Mix blue in that same dotted area. Kind of twisting my brush around to get some of that paint off. And then I have a different shade of blue. And you'll just keep going and going until your iceberg is finished. Okay, so I'm not expecting to finish that today. We'll work on it next week. Okay, and then when you're finished, you throw away the paper towel, your water cup you'll rinse out, and then this will go on the drying rack.